Hi everyone, this is a tutorial on all things Planning Center Online. Planning Center is the resource that we use to plan services and to schedule our teams for our services. So generally, once you are in our system, you're going to get event requests on either email or text message. That's your preference. Today I'm going to go through the email version of that. So I'm going to go to my email first of all, and I have a request right here. So generally there's going to be some type of message. Sometimes this message is really important. On this particular request, it's not. Down here it's got the date of the plan. It's got the plan. This is a 9 o'clock service plan, and here it's got all the times associated with that service. So we've got a 9 o'clock service, we have the rehearsal at 8, and we have a production team meeting at 7:30. So I'm going to accept this plan by hitting accept, and it's going to open it within my browser here. So once it says I've accepted the invitation, and here I can see kind of all the same information. I have the service time, the rehearsal times, the other times, which is production team meeting, and then here I can see the date. Down here I can see the series title, the sermon title, the sermon verse that he's going to use, and then there's any kind of special information. So like this happens to be Veterans Sunday, and it's also a Communion Sunday. So below that we have the service order, and this is very much like what you see printed out each week. You've got our pre-service section, our worship section with all of our music, the speaking section, and then the response and the post-service. So each of these columns corresponds to what you would also see on the printed out service order. We've got the stage directions, so who's entering or exiting the stage, any kind of audio notes, what's on the graphics computer, what the lyric computer is doing, what the stage display needs to be doing. Over here in this section, you can see either the time that we expect it to be whenever these things are happening, and how long those things we're expecting them to be. You can change that here. You can either see just one of those two or all of them. So like that's just length in minutes, this is just the times, or both. And also after a service is done, if we've done the live timing like we would like to do, then after the service is done, you could also see the actual times of when things happen. So anyway, further over, this last column over here is going to show us any kind of notes. So like this is all the notes, and then this is any attachments. So for example, here on this song we've got the I'm not sure what this is, full letter. We're going to download it and see. It's probably just the lyrics. Nope, it is the entire score. So that's the score. Then we've got a lyric sheet, and then we've got the MP3. All those things are downloadable. You can also go up here to rehearse and media player and see all of the various MP3s that are associated with this service. If you go and listen to them, if you go over here to under teams, we've got our various teams, our vocals, orchestra, band, BFC staff, and production. I'm going to open up production one, and you can kind of see everyone that is assigned. This little question mark means that Hal has not accepted or declined. A green means that someone has accepted. A red check mark would mean that they've declined. You can expand all of these and see who all is involved in the service. If you keep scrolling down, there's a note section and an attachment section. Sometimes we'll use these, sometimes we won't. Right now we've got Rick's sermon notes in the plan attachments, and so you can click on that and download those, and you can see Rick's sermon notes. There they go. There's Rick's sermon notes. These will change heavily by Sunday. This is he'll pare all this down, and it'll be way shorter on Sunday. But anyway, that's kind of the basics overview of a service. I also have a request in my email for the 11:15 service. So I'm going to go in here and accept that. You can see that this one's a little bit different. It doesn't have the production meeting, because if you're only on second service, you wouldn't want to come to a 7:30 meeting. But it does have a midweek rehearsal time. I'm going to accept that. And you can see it is very, very similar. The same exact layout. So one other thing to note on this one, though, if you go to the media player after our Tuesday rehearsal, if you scroll all the way down, you will see a rehearsal MP3 recording. That's just the recording of the service. So after Tuesday, you can listen to that and get familiar with exactly how the service is going to go. Anyway, so if you click up here on your picture, or maybe you haven't uploaded a picture, but I have one, so I'm going to click on that, and I can click here on my name, and it's going to take me to my profile. This is a big deal. It really helps us out if this information is correct. You can click edit by your name here, and you can edit your contact information. If you choose your mobile carrier, you'll have the option of receiving text messages instead of emails for requests and things. But just having all this stuff correct and accurate is very helpful for us, because this is, if we need to contact you and maybe we don't have your number in our phone or whatever, or we don't know your email, this is where we can go to see all that information if we want to get a hold of you outside of Planning Center. So anyway, so if I click, this first thing is this first scheduling tab shows me the recent services that I've been a part of. This shows me all the teams I'm a part of. This preferences tab, you can edit this, and you can say how many times a month you want to serve, how many times per day that you want to serve. And that can be helpful for us. If you go to the communications tab here, this tells us all of the messages that you have received. So if you lose a message or something, you can always see it here. You can reset your email password here, and over here you can choose if you want to receive text messages. You can just check mark for the various things you might want to get a text message for. I like to get emails, so I'm going to leave it that way. And if you go over here to details, then it tells you your level of permissions. If you feel like your level isn't high enough, then just get with us. I'm sure that we can get it to a place where it feels right to you. And then over here is all the tags associated with me. So that's the basics of the profile. If I go over here to my schedule, it will load eventually. This shows me all of the things I'm scheduled for coming up, and I can click here, and I can add a blockout date for dates that I'm unavailable. Let's say I didn't want to do Thanksgiving, so I could, not that there's anything happening on Thanksgiving, but I could set a blockout date for just that date, and I could say Thanksgiving, and I could save it. And now my team leader would know that I'm not available on Thanksgiving. And they would see that if they tried to schedule you. So that's super helpful for us whenever we're scheduling things. And we typically schedule things pretty far in advance, 6 to 8 weeks in advance. So at least that's the ideal. So knowing the blockout dates for you way ahead of time is very good. Of course, you can always decline a time as well. So here you can see the messages you've received again, and the last thing, and you can also just click this and send an email directly to your team leader, and you can select them here. So anyway, that's Planning Center in a nutshell. So I hope that helps. All of these same features are available on the app. I highly recommend the app. I use it constantly too. So anyway,